All right, so you saw initially the pigs on the table were inside a plastic bag. So what you're going to do is use your scissors, cut the bag open, dump the liquid in the bag down the sink, rinse the sink because that will get some of the stink out of the way. Shake the junk off or the liquid off of your pig, and then you're going to get it tied down onto the tray as such. So you got string, 2 sets of string, and so you can call it what you like, hog-tied if you prefer, down onto the tray. And then you're going to be looking at the belly side and thinking about that first incision. You're trying to tie the legs back so you can get a good access at the thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity. One tool that I forgot to put out on the table and mention is going to be your cutting tool for this, and it's not a scalpel because I've had little success with scalpels over the year. The scalpels tend to be problematic in that they get dull really fast and they're a lot more expensive to replace. So I found a better deal at a good tool for doing the pig dissection from Menards, 100 pack of straight razor blades for $6. So that's going to be work as our scalpel for this purpose. All right, so what you're going to want to do is start that first incision, and we're going to start up by the chinny chin chin. At the base of the chin, there is sometimes a little mole, and I can see that barely on mine, and I'm going to gently make a line with the corner down the center line, cutting all the way back toward just before I get to the umbilical cord. All right, so this is the umbilical cord. At the umbilical cord, I make a Y. So I go about a 45-degree angle down one side for maybe ½ inch or so. Do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to go not quite straight back, but kind of straight back, angling a little bit in toward the groin area. Doesn't sound very appealing, but... And then do the same thing on the other side. All right, so our initial incisions are there, and now we just have to start trying to finesse our way into the insides of our pig. And what we're going to do next is work on the abdominal cavity first. So we're going to try and separate the umbilical cord section from what's underneath. So if you pull up on that, you can see it held together by connective tissue, and just cut, and you may have noticed a little juice come out. It's more of the preservative in the pig, and that's to be expected. And now, cutting a little deeper, I'm actually into the abdomen. There's a thin layer or an umbilical artery here, or excuse me, an umbilical vein going into the umbilical cord. So I get rid of that, work my way along that part of the abdomen, and try to separate this a little more. work on the other side. Do the same thing. And I can pull that back and reveal squiggly intestines. And then you've got a tube here and a tube here, and then a sac in between. This sac in between is the urinary bladder. So there's going to be tubes coming off the urinary bladder that go back to the kidneys. We'll try to find those later. And we'll try to make some more sense out of these intestines. All right, so now we're getting somewhere. We can see inside. The next step is going to involve trying to peel back the abdominal flaps. So that's going to take a little bit of poking and prodding to figure out where the rib cage is. So let's go back up to maybe where we think the diaphragm is and cut in, pull back a little bit. One thing you'll also find when you're getting into the pig, that the juice that starts to come out, if you want, not a bad idea to rinse that out. So dump it down the sink, and it will help the smell factor a little bit too, if you can get some of that rinsed down the sink. But we're trying to now make some incisions laterally down the side so we can get into the abdomen a little bit better. So we got one here, one here. If you go down a ways, you'll start to feel a little tougher material.